Sharp Game coming at another episode from ChooseYourRelationships.com, author of Love Can't Wait, which can be found on Amazon.com. And today, tonight, I should say, where I'm at, but if you're on the West Coast, it's still daytime for you. But I'm going to talk about how to manage your personal life like a boss. It's not really that difficult as a lot of people make it out to be. You know, a lot of guys I see still to this day make a lot of mistakes. Critical mistakes. First thing you got to do, man, when it comes to women, even before you start talking to anyone, you got to have some standards about yourself, man. You got to have standards. You got to write down everything that you want in a woman. Not saying you're going to find everything that you write down, but you got to write it down. That way, you have a frame of reference, what you like within a woman. That's the first thing you got to do, man. You got to have some standards. You got to have some rules. You got to figure out what you're willing to tolerate. What do you really want? Why do you even want a relationship? And what kind of relationship do you want? Do you want a traditional relationship? Or do you want 2 or 3 women? Or do you just want to have a bunch of women on the, carousel or something like that? I mean, gotta have standards. And you gotta stop following other people. That's the biggest mistake that a lot of guys make. See, everything is not going to work for you like it worked for your grandfather and your grandmother and your parents. Their relationship is probably not going to work for you. It could, but it's no guarantee. You know what I mean? I mean, just because you tried one way, that doesn't mean you're a failure. And that just didn't work. I mean, if one way don't try another way. You know, I mean, a lot of guys are trying to be with women that don't want to be with them too. That's another mistake that a lot of guys make. You know, look, my philosophy is I rock with those that rock with me. I'm not trying to chase down no woman or chase down anybody at this point. I mean, I just never understood that. I never really had time for that. I'm not really trying to convince or negotiate or trying to talk a woman into doing something or being around me. If she got to go, well, take care. But you cannot waste your time with people that don't want to be around you. I mean, if that's the case, you have too much time on your hands. You need to take that same energy and put it into something else that's going to generate extra income for you. That's what you should be chasing. If you want to chase anything, chase the bag, chase the brown bag. But see, the problem with a lot of guys is they start chasing. They have too many women. Some guys just can't handle it. They have too many women. Their attention is all over the place. Their mindset is all over the place. And they don't get very much of anything done. It's just all about working the job and having a good time. I mean, and some people will go 10, 20, 30, 40 years like that. Just trying to have a good time. And it's like they're going to run themselves raggedy. And then the people around them, the women around them, they're not really rocking with them like that. They're just around them because they show them a good time. And, maybe they get them high, get them drunk. And that's it. And I'm not saying anything wrong with that. I just think it's a reckless lifestyle to live. I mean, if you go to college, a lot of people go to college and they'll go to college and basically college is just a party fest. That's all it is. And they get out of college and they still want to live that same lifestyle until they either can't do it no more or until something happened. And if it's a woman, as soon as a guy chooses, it might not be the guy that she want, but if he make her a strong offer, she might settle with this guy. But that's because women, they dream about being married. Us guys, we don't dream about being married. I don't know a guy that have ever dreamed about being married. Now, they could be out there, but I don't know them. So if a guy is still in that party mode, trying to live that fast life, man, he could go 20, 30 years doing that shit. All the way up in his 40s and 50s, sometimes 60s. If nothing stops him, maybe he might have, if he don't have no health problems or anything like that. But you gotta get around people that's really rocking with you. That's really down for you. You cannot spend time around people that's not really rocking with you like that. You're gonna waste a lot of time. And see, when things happen to you, and if you have people around you that not rocking with you like that, as soon as something happens, they're gonna bail out on your ass. It might be something simple too. Maybe your car might broke down, something like that. Or maybe it's usually something simple. Maybe you might have an accident and people will bail out on you. You lose your job, they bail out on you. It's like if you get sick, they bail out on you. So these things might not be anything serious, but to them, they don't want to be a part of anything that you really got going on anyway, because they was never down with you. So a lot of guys make that mistake. And even I did at one point. I did too. Because when you're young, sometimes you just don't know any better. You just don't know any better. But as you get older, two to three things is going to happen. Either your body is going to slow you down. You're just not going to be able to get out there and run the way you used to. That's what happened to me. I can't really hang out there like that the way I used to. I can't really shake and bake. I can't stay up all night the way I used to. I can't do it. I physically cannot do it. Physically not able to do it no more. When I hit 35, I think I had a burnout at 35. Really. Because what happened, man, is at a certain time at night, so like 2, 3 in the morning, I'm ready to go to sleep. I can't drink the way I used to, any of that shit. So I just kind of like gave the clubs up and all that shit, man. I just started focusing more on anything that had to do with economics, basically. That's what I started putting most of my focus on, and that changed my whole circle of people when that happened. And then with most people, they usually get sick, that I know. That usually stops a lot of people. I'm happy that it never happened to me. I wasn't wilding out like that. I got sleep. I ate pretty decent. I never drunk too much until I passed the fuck out and had hangovers like crazy. I never drunk like that. I always knew what I was doing when I was drinking too. I never was an alcoholic. I could go without out drinking. It's not like I was addicted. I wasn't. I was never one of those guys that had to have a beer every day. I had to go to the liquor store every Friday after work. I never was one of those guys and one of those people. But a lot of people usually get sick. That usually slows them down. And then if you don't have nobody around you that's really down with you when you get sick, and you up shit's creek. Unless your family is tight, you up shit's creek. Shit. You're going to end up like some of these old people in the fucking nursing home. You're going to be like one of the young people in a nursing home too. You're going to be like one of those types of people. You end up in a nursing home in the late 30s or 40s. That's fucked up, But it happens, especially if you live up north. Because if you live up north, a lot of people that live up north have this mentality. They'll throw your ass in a nursing home quick. See, down south, we don't really do that shit. People tend not to do that shit very often. It happens, but it's rare. But up north, shit, nursing home is the first option. First and only option. God damn. You don't even care. Because up north, there's so much shit going on. Everybody ripping and running. Everybody basically, majority of people up north, basically, they're just trying to fucking make rent every month. The cost of living is so high. And people just basically run through people up there. If they can't get anything from you, mostly physically get anything from you, they're not fucking with you like that. And even if they do fuck with you for a short period of time, once they're done with you, see you later, alligator. Not saying it's not like some cities down south that's not like that, but up north, that's pretty common. That's pretty much the way. That's how most people, that's how most women do up there. If you're just like the average guy that she runs into, she's going to run your ass through the pipeline until she meets a guy that really grabs her attention and holds her attention. But, you can't really, you can only do that shit but so long. You can do that shit when you're in the 20s, 30s, 50 at best. And then at 50, you kind of pushing it. You kind of pushing it. And if you're running yourself raggedy, you're drinking, you're smoking, you sniff your little coke every once in a while. We know some of y'all is sniffing every once in a while. Some of the women is sniffing every once in a while too. They don't do it all the time. They probably hit it once a month, once every 2 months, or twice every 90 days, something like that. But some of them is, popping the Molly, the sniffing, you know, the popping, the X. So that shit happens with a lot of women, especially in these big cities, because everything is so fast and everything is much easier to get compared to living in a smaller town. But if you're doing all that shit, plus you're getting older, plus you're not really getting nowhere because the little bit of money that you have left over after you're done paying rent, that ain't much. And you're gonna basically use up all your resources until you figure out, something else to get into. Maybe you might move and the cost of living go up, or maybe if you get lucky, you might meet some woman that really grabs your attention. Or some guys get to a certain point where they just get tired of running. They just get burned out, like I did. And then the only reason that they settle down is because they got burned out. They realize that they can't do it no more. They can't rip and run no more. But if I could go back in time, I would have saved a lot of my damn money that I blew. God damn. All this, I had to have the weed back then, man. I almost had to I had the quarter bag every week. I used to drive around with it. It was crazy. I had to have the bear. I had to have the Hennessy. I always had to have at least a fifth of Hennessy, at least. It was crazy. So I'm like, I used to drive from South Carolina, Atlanta, Charlotte, Jacksonville, Florida, Miami. Then I might drive to someplace like Chicago. That was it. I never drove up north. I always thought that shit was too far. I always thought that shit was too far. So I never drove up there. I flew. Anything over 6? Well, unless I have help. But if I have to drive 6 hours or better, I need another helper to help me drive. But if that wasn't the case, I just flew. But if I had to do it all over again, man, I would have had 2 to 3 women that was really down with me. I would be organized. Not saying I didn't have 2, 3 women that weren't down with me, but I would have been much more strategic. It would have been my intent to have 2 or 3 women down with me, and I would have built an empire. So I would have, I guess you could say, sort of a polygamous type relationship. And I would have never gotten married even to the state. I would have never gotten married to the state. I would have never done that. I mean, maybe I would have done paperwork if need be, like assuming if I had kids, with anybody. And I would have started businesses. That's what I would have done if I could do it all over again. But hey, man, you live and learn. I still would have done the same thing that I'm doing now. I would have done back then. But I would have grew much faster because there's strength in numbers. There's strength in numbers. You can do more if you have the right people on your team. And sometimes you have to keep in mind that it's not so much what you know how to do, and it's not so much who you know either. A lot of times it's who the people that you know is who they know. You got to think about that sometimes. See, I made a critical mistake early on when I was in my 20s because I thought I was fucking Iron Man. I thought I could do fucking everything, make everything happen all by myself. And that was a mistake. And that's part of the reason why I burnt out when I was in my mid-30s. Because I took on too much responsibility and I just wasn't getting enough rest. And, ever since I had that burnout, because I went to the emergency room. So I had a real burnout. This wasn't no damn burnout like I got tired and went to bed. No. I'm talking like I went to the emergency room. I thought I was having a heart attack, but it was really an anxiety attack. And I thought I was about to pass the fuck out, But I realized, man, if you want to do anything massive, if you want to be great at doing anything, you gotta build like a culture of people around you, regardless of what you want to do. I mean, because if you think about it, look at some of these athletes. Check out the best of the best in any sport. They have coaches, they have trainers, they have people that coach them, train them. I mean, the best athletes in the world probably have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 coaches in one season. So it takes psychotic focus, laser focus. But when you look back, years down the line, when you look back, you'll be like, the shit was all worth it. Because being mediocre and average ain't worth it. I think we can all agree with that. I think you might still be average today, but you don't have to be that way. You don't have to stay that way. But at some point, you got to make a decision which direction you're going to go. Are you going to follow the crowd? You're going to join the herd or stay with the herd? Or you're going to be a trendsetter? Or you're going to step out of the box for a change? Or you're going to do something that you really want for a change? At some point, every man has to make that decision. But here's the deal. The hardest part about that is, see, a lot of people are always thinking about what people around them are going to think. That's why most people don't do very much of anything, because they're thinking about what my parents are going to think about me if I have to downgrade my car or if I have to sell my house and get an apartment, if I have to quit my job and get another job for less because I want the experience. Because sometimes you might have to take a few steps backwards in order to move forward. See, some people don't want to do that. If they make 50,000, they don't want to go back down to 45 or 40,000, so they can work with somebody and get all the experience. And maybe 2, 3 years, 4 years down the line, they'll be making over 100,000. They don't want to do that. No one wants to go backwards. No one wants to take a step back. Most people don't. If they going up, they want to keep going up. They don't want to go back. Never. That's what, see, most people think like that. They don't want to go back. They're thinking about, and then they got that woman, that silly acting woman with them, more than likely. She don't even care about what you're trying to do in most cases, because the silly acting woman that you got with you, or the silly acting woman that's thinking about getting with you, or maybe you want to get with her, she ain't really rocking with you like that anyway. In most cases, she don't even care about you. But you think you got something probably because she's attractive, but that's all she got. Once you get past the sex, there's nothing really there. She's just eye candy. She doesn't support you on anything. She doesn't. Maybe you have talent. Maybe you have skills. Maybe you might have products. She doesn't like any of this shit. Doesn't support any of this shit. But you still have her around you. You know? So some people you're going to have to get rid of. Period. You know? That's just what it is. Everybody can't go along for the ride. They can show up at the party, but after the party, they got to go home. You dig? Let's see what we got in the chat, baby. What up, Kendrick? Sherry? Jordan? What up? Be the gold standard and set the standard, and the women will follow. You got that right, Jordan. Nick to Dawn. What up, son? What up, Blackheart? Hell no, I don't want it. I can be with one woman without marriage. Yeah, today you don't really have to get married. You can have 1, 2, as many women as you want. They're down with it today. What up, Cosmic Warrior? What up, John? That's true. Keep here time. That true up here in New York. New York. New York, baby. From Jersey. What up? Something like Mary Jane. I'm only surprised because whenever someone brought up Mary Jane, he seemed anti-weed. No, I'm not anti-weed. I just don't smoke no more. Shit. So was human. That don't mean nothing. There are tons of anti-weed human people that act like young Mary Jane kills. Now, you know what? Weed ain't never kill nobody. Not yet. Not yet anyway. There's not one study, not one proof of marijuana killing anybody. To this day. Not one. Not one case. Or no. What up? Are you lazy after smoking? Nah, man. Nah, when I smoke weed, man, I was good. It didn't affect me like that. No, didn't affect me like that, man. Not at all. I've always been a very active person anyway. So, now we just made me want to do more, basically. But no, it didn't slow me down, man. No, it didn't slow me down. The one thing about the weed, it just made me want to party. I wanted to party. I wanted to get out and experience more of whatever I was thinking at the time. That's it. But I tell you what, if I was still smoking weed today, I probably wouldn't be here right now. More than likely. More than likely. I would not have videos on YouTube. None of this shit. Because when I was on the weed, I was headed into an entirely different direction in life. So, you know, I forced myself to move after smoking. It made me too comfortable. Yeah, you do get comfortable. Um, but it can slow you down in a sense. Because some people get sleepy, some people get hungry. Um, but yeah, it's just plus I was spending a lot of money on weed. God damn. I was spending a lot of money on that shit. I was buying a quarter bag every week. A quarter bag or more every week. So that shit started to add up after a while. I hit the gym. Yeah, I work out more too. See, when I was smoking the weed, I wasn't going to the gym. I wasn't lifting weights. I wasn't doing push-ups, sit-ups, none of that shit. I was out of shape. Because I was in party mode, basically. I always wanted to have a good time in some type of way. I was doing a lot of traveling. I was meeting a gang of people, gang of women, but they wasn't forward thinking people. They just wanted to have a good time and get high and get drunk and party and all that shit. So the weed basically on some level was kind of running my life on some level, you know? So I looked at it like this. If I think something is about to take over my life or running my life, or if I think it's too much, I let it go. The weed is laced with a lot of chemicals. Yeah, today it is. Today it is. It's laced with a lot of chemicals today. Yeah, I stopped smoking weed in early 2000s. Yeah, back then the weed was good, but today, oh, it's all kind of shit in the weed today. Yeah, a quarter a week. Yeah, that's a lot, yo. Yeah, that's a lot. And I was doing that shit a quarter bag a week for like, my goodness. I did that shit for like 4 years straight. And the only reason I stopped buying a quarter bag every week after 4 years is because I moved. That's when I moved to North Carolina. When I moved to North Carolina, that's when I slowed down because I didn't know anybody that had the weed like that. That's the only reason why. And then shortly after that, I woke up one morning. I was like, yo, I don't need to be smoking no more, man. I don't need this shit like that, you know? So I just stopped cold turkey, just like that. I used to do quarter per 3 weeks. Vaporizer was the best investment ever to help me get more out of my weed for less. Yeah, man. You know, everybody hit the like button. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. Yeah, you just gotta, one of the hardest things I had to that I had to do when I was younger, man, is manage my time. Manage my time with people. Just manage my time with everything. Really. That's the hardest. I say I never was trying to look for balance. Some people say they want balance, they want a balanced life. Man, that's a bunch of bullshit. I never was looking for a balanced life. I'm looking to live life better. I was trying to live a full life. I never strive to look for balance. There's a lot of talk out here about, hey, gotta you gotta have a balanced life. You gotta have work, you gotta have playtime, you gotta have vacation time, you gotta have date night, you gotta have sex time, you gotta have kids time. I'm like, what? Are you crazy? Ain't no way in hell you're gonna get all that shit in. No way. I'm just trying to live my life, you know. So I try to incorporate everything I want to do in my life all together, sometimes all at the same time. That's how I do it. I don't, I think a lot of people are kind of like in a fairy tale world. They want to try to plan and manage every goddamn thing. A lot of women are like that too. A lot of women try to plan everything down to the wire, down to the T. It just doesn't, and when it doesn't work that way, they get all frustrated and stressed out. That's just not real life. It's no damn movie or no damn game show or no reality show. This is real life out here. That the balanced life is the hardest thing to do. The government and this system requires us to dedicate a big part of our time working for someone else to have an income to survive. Yeah, exactly. Most people's time is being spent at the job. That's where most people spend their time at the job. So let's take a married person. A married person spend 8 hours, 8, 9 hours at the job, 5, 6 days a week. Come home, they got kids. Got to make sure the kids is okay. You got to feed the kids, help them with their homework if you get lucky. Then you got to spend time with the husband if you like him or if you care about him. And then you got to make sure you okay. It's just that's not a balanced life, yo. It's not. They say these days there are more entrepreneurs than ever. Well, they're more entrepreneurs than ever because they have to be. They have to be. They don't have a choice. In most cases, a lot of people, the funny thing is about just being an entrepreneur. I was an entrepreneur before it became cool to be one. That's the thing. And I never wanted to be one either, by the way. I never wanted to get into technology and build websites and fly across country to go to the tech conference. Man, I never wanted to do none of that shit. Look, let me tell you something, man. If I could have went to Ivy League college, Harvard, Yale, Oxford, Stanford, if I could go to one of those colleges when I was 18, I would have went there. And I would have done my 4 years and graduated, and I would have been an alumni, and I probably got me a decent paying job, just like a lot of these other guys. Or end up someplace in the Bay Area, Silicon Valley or some shit like that. But I ended up going, I went to college, then I went in the military. And then when I got out of the military, I got into technology. But I felt the need to, because the job income was never enough. It just was never enough, yo. But I didn't do videos or walk around telling people, hey, when they say, hey, what do you do for a living? I'm an entrepreneur. I'm like, what? Back, 15, 20 years ago, that was a bad, being an entrepreneur. If you told somebody that was very negative. That was a very negative thing back then. It's kind of like, but today it's cool. If you tell somebody that, you're like, oh, you're an entrepreneur? Yeah. Oh, you're awesome. And, they go on a little high, whatever. But yeah, I never wanted to, there's a lot of stuff that I've done, a lot of stuff that I'm still doing today. A lot of this shit I didn't really want to do. And I know some of y'all can probably relate to this. A lot of the shit I did not want to do. I really didn't. I was forced to, because I always wanted to be free. I never wanted to go. I got tired of working these jobs with all the politics. They treat you like shit. They don't pay you what you deserve. When it's time to get a raise or promotion, they say you ain't ready yet. I just got tired of that shit. I got tired of. I done had a bunch of jobs too, a lot. So I got tired of hopping from job to job and all that shit. And when you hop from job to job like that, if you're always working all the time, you're not gonna really have a social life. You know what I mean? And if you have to jump from job to job, you're probably not gonna be making the same or more money either. I mean, there's some people that leave one job and go to the next job because they pay more, but that don't happen all the time. That's not the norm. Nothing wrong with your story. I went to a bullshit college due to not having correct counseling in high school. If I could do it all over again, I would go to a junior college for medical, like X-ray tech. Yeah, I went to school with a guy. He went to college with a guy. He majored in X-ray tech. I have older classmates. One from the Army, one from the Navy. That mentioned everywhere they gone, there were women throwing pussy at them once they partied together as a group in other countries. Oh yeah, in the Navy, in the Navy, man, is the next thing closest to a celebrity. I don't know about the rest of them branches, but the Navy is the next thing closest to being a celebrity. I'm talking like when we used to hit these other countries, man, you didn't have to say shit. All you had to say is, hello, how you doing? Where y'all going? That's it. You grab her hand, she grab your hand, and if you grab her hand, she'll squeeze your hand, and y'all gone. Wherever. It was at wherever, whenever. Back to her house, back to her friend's house, back to the hotel. That was the goal. That was like, it's going down at the end of the night. That's how it was, man. And I never had an experience like that before I went in the Navy. That shit blew my fucking mind. I never experienced no shit like that. Not even in college. I didn't. It's not. I never seen it like that. Not even with the athletes. I've never seen it like that. The only place I've seen it like that is with the entertainers, the rappers, R&B singers. I never been around no actors or movie stars, nothing like that. But I've seen it with the rappers and R&B singers like that. Or it could be just like local people, local acts. But yeah, the Navy, that shit was wow, man. That's an experience that's priceless. I can't even put a price tag on that shit. These jobs are horrible. They work the shit out of us. Hell yeah, these jobs is the worst shit ever. I mean, working a job is the hardest thing I ever done in my life, man. I mean, there's so much bullshit that happens on these jobs, and a lot of people are so stressed the fuck out, man. You know, that's why people have heart attacks first thing Monday morning, and they have anxiety because they don't want to go back to that damn job because there's so much bullshit going on. People get mistreated, you know. I'm telling you. Plus clock everything we do. Yeah, they watch you, especially if you're black, you know. I'm telling you, man. It's crazy. Some places like bars had to kick the soldiers out since they party so hard. Yeah. Some of them guys, you gotta think about it like this. If somebody keep you on the ship for 30, 45, 60 days, especially if they're Marines, and if you let them off the ship, they're gonna be some wild sons of bitches. So that's what happens. It's kind of like keeping somebody in a cage for too long, and when they get out, they buck wild, man and woman. I mean, at one point, man, we was on the ship for 90 days, over 90 days at one point. So you're working every day, 7 days a week, no break. Only break you got is in between, which is like 4 to 8 hours. And it could change any day. You might have 4 hours off, you might have 8 hours off. And if they start running drills, you might not get no sleep. You might get 2 hours sleep if they start running drills. So it's crazy, man. The Navy ships, it takes a lot for them ships to move on water. It takes a lot of manpower. It's crazy, man. Let's be real. There are jobs where people set you up to get fired. If you in management, they watch you like a hawk. Even get Uncle Tom to say, "Oh yeah, a lot of that shit going, man." I've seen people get promoted, maybe supervisor or management, and I can see it. They just set them up to get fired. I can see this shit happening. I was like, I know what's coming. I know what they're doing. You know? So yeah, that shit happens. There's a lot of politics when it comes to a lot of these jobs. And if you have to keep starting all over every 2 to 5 years, you got a new job. If you got to keep doing that shit, you can't. It's hard to maintain with one income like that. If you got to keep starting all over all the time, because the average job, you're gonna have. It's gonna take you 2 to 5 years to start making decent money there. So if you got to keep starting all over every 2 to 5 years, it's like it's going to be very difficult. This is why you need more than one income. This is why I started my other channel, the Day Job Bailout Plan, because I knew a lot of people that wanted more income. They just didn't know how to go about doing it. And at the time when I came online, which was like over 10 years ago now, I made a lot of mistakes. I made a lot of mistakes even before I came online. But I started up a channel because I'm basically just paying it forward, really. So yeah, go over there. I'll drop the link in here. I'll go over there and subscribe. Let's see. Yeah, here it is. The Day Job Bailout Plan. Go there and subscribe. Yeah. Yep. And check out and subscribe to my Patreon too. Yeah, I'll drop that in there too. Yeah. There it is. Oh yeah, on my other channel, I talk about making money, starting an online business, setting up online campaigns. I talk about finding jobs. I talk about starting side hustles and finding side hustles and a little bit of everything. How long have you been doing videos on YouTube? I forgot. I tried to catch the early ones. Ooh, shit. I started this channel 2012, if I'm not mistaken. I started this channel 2012. But the first channel I started on YouTube was 2009. Was the first channel I started on YouTube. Yeah. I've had this channel longer than any other channel ever. And, since I came on YouTube, basically. Yeah. The other channels I had, they were much bigger than this one. Way bigger. But the bigger you get, the more of a target you become. That's been my experience. Why is this chat so dead tonight? Oh, it's not many people on. It's not many people on. But I'm about to get off anyway. I'm about to get off. But anyways, man, if you like the video, give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel. Check out my Patreon. Check out my other channel. Check out my website, chooseyourrelationships.com. And that's true. Everyone is coming at Tariq's neck. Yeah. Yeah, see, that's a good example. That with Tariq. Yeah, that's a good example of that. The bigger you are, the more of a target you become. That comes with the territory. That's part of the game, basically. So, all right, fellas, I'm out. Peace.